Okay, so we're going to factorize quadratics, okay, and you've got an example here of a quadratic that's been factorized, all right? Let's do the reverse process. Let's expand it, okay, see sort of what we get in the expansion. Okay, so we're all used to doing this, something the FOIL, okay, so firsts x squared, the outers 7x, the inners 5x, the lasts then 5 times 7 is 35. So we get x squared plus 12x plus 35. Okay, so in a moment we're going to have quadratics like this and we're going to factorize them. We're sort of used to the approach that we use here, but it's useful to know why it sort of works. Okay, and we just need to appreciate that 35 there. The number at the end is a result of multiplying these two together, yeah? 5 and 7, you get the 35 there. And the 12 there in front of the x is a result of adding these two together, okay? Because you add the outers and the inners, don't you? Okay, so just bear that in mind. The two numbers that we need multiply to give this n number and add up to give that number there. Okay, so when it comes to then the first sort of question here, we're going to factorize. Okay, we'll have in the bracket, okay, x in both brackets. All right, because when you multiply them, you get x squared. Yeah. Okay, so we always do that. We always put a pair of brackets there, put x in both, and it multiply the first, you get your x squared. When it comes to then finding your pair of numbers, okay, remember the process that we had before. The pair of numbers have to multiply to give 20. So what I do over here, I'm going to write 20, and I'm going to write down the factor pairs of 20, okay? And you might see it already, okay? You might see what pair we're going to use. But if I start off sort of with the first factor pair, 1 and 20, they multiply to give 20, but I can't get them to add up to give 9, can't I? And remember, we need our pair of numbers here to add up to give this here, okay? So 1 and 20 doesn't work. 2 and 10, it's quite close, isn't it? That multiplies to give 20. It's closer to 9, but it's not 9, isn't it? I can't get these up to add up to give 9. The next pair, well, 4 and 5, yeah? You can see now 4 and 5, yeah? They multiply to give 20. I can get these to add up to give 9. If I make them both positive, so positive 4 here, positive 5, then when I expand this, I get x squared plus 5x plus 4x, which simplifies to be 9x, yeah, and the last then gives me 20. Okay, with this one then, okay, so same thing again, right? So we're going to have x at the start of both brackets, because they multiply to give you x squared. This time then we've got 24 at the end, right? So our pair needs to multiply to give 24. Think of factor pairs 1 and 24. That obviously won't add up to give 10. 2 and 12, okay? Be careful here, right? Because you can get 10 from there, can't you? You can make 10 by making this negative 2 and that positive 12, because positive 12 take away 2 is 10. So you can get them to add up here to give 10. However, when you multiply them, does it give me positive 24? Remember, I want positive 24? Well, when I multiply them, it gives me negative 24. So that's no good, right? That pair, even though it looks as though it can work, it doesn't. 3 then is the next number. 3 times 8, that's no good. 4 and 6. Well, yeah, absolutely. 4 and 6 works, doesn't it? If I make them both positive, it'll add up to give 10. Multiply to give 24. Okay? So that works there. Next one then, right, so we've got here x again in both brackets. Okay, this time I needed to multiply to give negative 18, okay, because that's the number I've got there. So pairs 1 and 18, okay, that's no good. 2 and 9, 2 times 9 is 18, that works, doesn't it? I want it to add up to give 7, and it works if I make that a negative 2, okay. Positive 9 take away 2 gives me positive 7. So that will work for me. And when you multiply them, you get you get negative 18 there. Okay, when you multiply them together. So negative 2 there plus 9 there. Okay, so next one, x again in both brackets. This time I need them to multiply to give negative 42. Okay, while 1 and 42 is a pair. No good. 2 and 21, that's no good. 3 goes into it 14 times, that's no good. Remember, I'm looking for that number there from to add up to give that number, which is negative 1, yeah? This is negative 1. We haven't got 1 there, but it is negative 1. 4 then, well, 4 doesn't go into 42, 6 does, though. 6 times 7, well, that will work, won't it? 6 times 7, I can get that to add up to give negative 1. If I make the bigger number there to be negative, okay, so I've got negative 7, add 6 is negative 1, so we've got positive 6 there, negative 7 there. That will multiply and work for us. Okay, so then this one, then we've got x in both again. So this time we want them to multiply to give 30. Well, 1 and 30, that's no good. 2 and 15. Well, yeah, that we could get negative 13 there, couldn't we? Think about what I'd need to do. I'd need to make that negative 15. Okay, that would be positive 2. That would add up to give negative 13. The trouble is, though, when I multiply them, it doesn't give me positive 30, doesn't it? It doesn't give me positive, it gives me negative 30, so it doesn't work, so be careful there. The next pair, 3 and 10, that will work, won't it? Because to get minus 13 there, I can put negative in front of both of them. Okay, that will give me negative 13, and I put them together, and they will multiply, because 2 negatives make a plus, then multiply to give 30. So we've got that there. Okay. Finally then, this one, x then in both brackets, we need them to multiply then to give 63. Okay, you might see this straight away. Okay, you can go through the pairs. I can see 7 and 9, yeah, multiply to give 63, and I can get that to be negative 16 if I make them both negative. Okay, so we've got x minus 7 there and x minus 9, and we're done.